nothing but his own profit, he sees no wrong in what he does. He is a heretic.
We are on episode 7 of season 3 of Tales from the Darkside. This one's called Heretic. Part of the episode takes place in the 80s, and part of the episode takes place during the Inquisition. We get some time traveling. And it's another story about a bad guy getting his comeuppance. The main character is Hart, and he's a sleazy art dealer who steals art pieces a lot of times from churches, which is a bad idea. This is going to come back to haunt him, and then tries to sell them on the black market. They don't build his character up too much. He does come off as a bit obnoxious, but I don't know. I almost wanted him to be worse. Like maybe this could have been the time that Tales from Darkside could have a boisterous character that yells and screams, and that you really want to see go through this Inquisition. So he gets a stolen painting from the Spanish Inquisition, and he's trying to sell this piece, and finds that he gets a visit from a monk, and then gets drawn into the painting himself. And since I don't really know that much about the Spanish Inquisition, you know what that means. I'm going to have AI do my work for me. Make a short video that explains it.
Stop what you're doing. It's time to uncover the chilling truth of the Spanish Inquisition. In 1478, the Catholic monarchs of Spain established the Spanish Inquisition. Its aim? To root out heresy and enforce Catholic orthodoxy. Spreading fear and suspicion, the Inquisition wielded immense power. Countless individuals were accused of heresy, often with little evidence. They faced brutal torture methods designed to extract confessions. Over its brutal history, it is estimated that around 150,000 people were prosecuted. Tragically, over 3,000 were executed. The Inquisition's reach extended to Jews, Muslims, and even Christians who were suspected of secret beliefs. Families were torn apart, lives were destroyed, and the flames of fear burned high. The horrors of the Spanish Inquisition finally began to wane in the 18th century, with its official end in 1834. But the scars it left on history remain indelible. The Spanish Inquisition serves as a grim reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and intolerance. May we never forget the lessons of the past.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I set that to dark and gothic. I don't think that quite was dark and gothic. Anyways, our friend Hart is brought in front of a monk and a priest, and they begin to slowly torture him. Well, they kind of stretch his body out, and you can see that he's sweating. And there's a good chance for the actor Bruce McVitie, who played the character Mickey Mack in the Clint Eastwood movie $1 Million Baby, and also did voiceovers for Grand Theft Auto 5, like everybody. Show off his body.
He said, I bought things stolen from churches. I sold them. I never understood any of it.
Do you swear on your immortal soul on pain of death?
So as they're stretching him apart, the monk and the priest decide to give him another chance. A Christmas Carol type situation. They take mercy on him and say that they will let him go and go back to his time, the 1980s, if he just agrees to stop stealing artwork from the church. This should be a super easy demand. Just don't steal artwork from the church. Well, you can probably guess what happens. He gets transferred back to his time and continues to try to sell this art piece and then burn it, which of course didn't work. I think the problem with this episode is it's not only predictable, but it just isn't very engaging. I don't want to say it's poorly done. It's not like a 1 or a 2, but it feels a lot like a stage play. And I don't want to say I wanted to see him tortured more, but I wanted to see him tortured more. It just seems like the stakes aren't very high. They slowly pull his arms a little bit and then immediately just give him a second chance. He doesn't really have to work for this. There's no good scenes when they go back to the Spanish Inquisition or them talking about the history behind it or any other sets. There's no blood in this episode. It just feels a bit sterile. It's definitely not the worst script. And the idea of going into a painting like frickin' Mario 64 is a cool idea, but I don't think the main character is good enough. He doesn't come off as a bad enough person, even though his actions are quite bad. And obviously in the Tales from the Darkside episode, they're not actually going to really explain why this magical painting can suck people in, but that's okay. Unlike a lot of Tales from the Darkside episodes, there is actually a positive spin on religion on this one. A lot of the other ones tend to be kind of anti-religious. In this case, you have an atheist, Hart, who really dislikes religion and is kind of taught a lesson to be more respectful not only to the paintings in the church, but just to Christianity itself. So I guess that's a good message. Overall, I'm going to give Heretic a 4, a below average episode that sticks out a little bit just because it actually goes back to ye olden time, which they don't do very often. They set mostly everything in the 80s. Give me higher stakes. Give me more drama. Let there be blood. Let there be whippings. Let there be lashings. This is another episode written by Edith Swinson, who is the most diverse writer. She does all sorts of episodes. And the Inquisitor in the Spanish Inquisition is actually played by Roberts Blossom, who made infamy when he played the hero Marley in Home Alone. That's right, it's the old man with the shovel who opens a can of whoop ass on the villains. That's him, Roberts Blossom. He did a great role in Home Alone. Here, he's, I guess you could say his talents aren't as well used. And he has no shovel. Okay, let's look at some user reviews. What does the public, the internet public, say about the episode Heretic? Oh boy, 5 out of 10. Okay episode with morals. The script by Edith Swinson is a typical bad guy gets his comeuppance, an appropriately ironic way, story with a bit of history thrown into the mix. The sequence set during the Spanish Inquisition looks pretty good, with nice period production design. Otherwise, the entire story takes place within Hart's apartment. I would have liked to see more Spanish Inquisition. Throw out some lingo. For those of you out there who don't know, according to Wikipedia, the definition of a heretic is a person who expresses or acts on opinions considered to be heresy, which itself is described as a challenge to a prescribed system of belief, especially a religious one. That's the literal definition, according to Wikipedia. Alright, thank you. Yeah, 5 out of 10. Oh boy, another 5 out of 10. Down a few more pegs. If you're watching the series in order, oh, I am. After the last few episodes, this is where we start going back down a bit. Oh man, we had a good run. Black Widows was maybe the end of our good run to where we were last season. It's not horrible, but it's pretty unfocused, and the ideas is trying to deliver are loose at best. Yeah, everyone's giving it a 5. I mean, I kind of agree. I give it a 4. It's really close to a 3, but I guess intolerable. And this is a 4 out of 10 for Tales from the Darkside. Not necessarily. If this came out today, it'd be getting like a 2. But we're grading on a curve here. A Tales from the Darkside curve. An 80s curve. Good idea indeed. Yes, a good idea, this plot, but unfortunately all the good intentions get lost along the way because of a lousy directing, and especially a lousy ending. There's barely any directing in here. That's another thing. Like, I don't expect, like, amazingly Kubrick camera angles, but man, this is another one where they just set the camera on the floor and let the people act it out. That's why I said it sounded like a stage play, because there's just, like, nothing going on with the directing. What's his name? Search and Destroy? Is that Metallica? No, Seek and Destroy. I'm confused. Iggy Pop. I hope so much. I agree there is a small part of the episode where the production design related to the Inquisition period is quite good and even promising, but that's all. But not enough torturing. I expected too much from the story as usual with this TV show. I am aware of this, but still fail to be captivated from beginning to end. But that's the name of the game with this anthology series produced in the 80s. Very dull. His life is literally at stake and he must fight to survive in a court where the odds are stacked against him. Again, this has an annoyingly jokey feel to it, and some decidedly poor acting which limits the viewer's enjoyment. Wow, is anyone going to give this more than a 5? This is usually there's someone who gives it like a 9. Someone's going to give it a 9. There we go. Woody Anders, of course. Oh my god, this guy. I've talked about him before. He reviews every single Tales from the Darkside episode and every single Monster episode. All of them. And he gives literally every single one an 8. I don't know what's with this guy. My arch nemesis. Just kidding. Woody Anders. And we see here, 8. 8. Also 8. The night I'll possess your corpse. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. Next up is Episode 8, A Serpent's Tooth. Of course, written by Edith Swinson again. She's on a roll. Check out our playlist for all episodes of Monsters, which we finished, Fear Itself, which is finished, Pet Shop of Horrors, which is finished, Cowboy Bebop, Mystery Science Theater 3000, and Black Mirror. Thanks a lot.